I need this, and I'm assuming some of you might need this as well. This is a 2-week program to help us reset our shoulders and improve our posture. The only thing that you're going to need is a little bit of wall space and a couple minutes every day. So find a spot and we'll get started. The first thing that we need to do is address any issues that might be going on in your shoulders as well as your pectorals. So I'd like you to stand next to the wall. You're an arm's distance away, staggered stance. My outside leg is in front, and begin an internal and an external rotation. So try to roll that shoulder head forward and then spiral it back. Now, if this feels good and you want to try to go a little bit deeper, and if it's your first time trying this, maybe you'll just stay here. Eventually, I want you to try rotating your fingertips to face the floor and bend the elbow. Coming back to neutral, where we begin, and then rotate elbow points towards the ceiling. Our goal here is to just warm up through the pectorals, the shoulders, before we come into our actual work. We need to focus on our body awareness, on the upper body, and stretch and open the pectorals. Let's do one more. Go ahead and release that arm. Just give it a little roll. You might want to step a little closer to the wall. I'm going to come nice and high with that hand. Once you get into position, look away from the wall. And just like a little spider, I want you to take those fingertips and start walking down the wall. You're going to begin to feel some stretching going on through the pectorals, the shoulder head, and maybe even the neck. You'll walk those fingers down to about shoulder height. Press into the wall with those fingers as you look away. My goal here is to keep this quick, so it's realistic, so that you can do this every day for 2 weeks. I promise you'll notice a difference. Nice and slow on that release. Go ahead and take a counter stretch. Come across with that arm and shrug to the floor. And release. Okay, flip around. We're going to do that other side. Remembering, as we're setting up, staggered stance, you're about an arm's distance away. Internal rotation, roll that shoulder head forward and then spiral it back. It's almost as if you're trying to spiral your armpit towards the ceiling. So I want you to feel all that movement in the scapula and all around the head of the shoulder. Option to go deeper if you're ready, right? Rotate those fingers to the ground, bend the elbow towards the ceiling. And remember, each shoulder might feel completely different, right? One side will always be a little tighter. There could be injury, very similar to our hips. They're never the same. We'll do one more with a little pause. And release. Roll that shoulder. Nice and close to that wall. As you set up, I want you to look away. Slow walk with those fingertips. My door is squeaky. Trying to be quiet. It's not working. Feel all those areas around the pectorals beginning to open and stretch. Come to shoulder height and press a full palm into that wall. Roll the shoulder open. Release and cross over. Make sure that shoulder is shrugging down as you pull across. Release. Okay, now that we're all warmed up, it's time for our real work. You may have heard of something called a wall angel, and we're going to do something that looks very similar to that. Just a brief review of our mechanics so that we know that we're in good, proper form. Your sacrum is against the wall, and you want to get your rib cage against the wall. Now, if you can get your head to touch the wall with keeping your chin parallel, I'll want you to do that. Lots of times we cheat by lifting our chin to get to the wall. Something that happens with chronic forward head posture is something called a dowager's hump. I used to think it was osteoporosis, but really what it is, it's a swelling in the area right where your neck and your back begins. So your cervical and thoracic spine, there's a swelling, and it's from the constant strain and pressure of looking forward down at our phones or sitting at a computer. So if you can't touch the wall without that parallel, I just want you to imagine looking for the wall. Then arms are going to come up to a 90-degree angle. Sometimes I see this. See if you can get those elbows as high as your shoulders, even if they don't touch, right? Over time, we'll see if we can get you a little closer to that wall, but we've got to start somewhere. So that's your pose. We're going to work on a progression. See if you can give me 30 seconds for the first 4 days, and we're going to add on all the way to 2 minutes to the end of our 2-week cycle together. So I'm going to set that timer. Let's see how we do. I feel like I should change tracks for this. Timer is set. Sacrum against that wall. Rib cage. Arms come up. See if you can give me those 30 seconds for the first 4 days. Of course, take a break when and if you need it. And really try to maintain your form, which is most important. As you exhale, draw the navel back. All right, staying with me if you can, day 5. Next time you are sitting at your desk or you're driving a car, just maybe think of this position and ask yourself if you could sit a little taller, right? We could focus on doing little things during the day now to help implement the work that we're doing here. Breathe. All right, staying with me if you can, day 9. We're more than halfway through. I'm starting to feel little shakies in my arms. I'm feeling a burning in the back of my neck. And what that tells me is I should have been doing this all along. What it's telling me is that the muscles in the back of my neck are weak. Over time, I know that it will get better. Keep checking in with your form. Day 13 and 14, stay with me. Now to maintain your work, you might want to do this a couple times a week, at least initially, and then revisit this every couple days, just to make sure you can still hold that 2-minute mark of this wall angel. Relax. Good work. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe I'll see you in a couple days. Consider subscribing to the channel to stay connected. Namaste.